133 pounds. Blake Boarman, the senior, with a tall task ahead of him as Lucas Byrd, the grad student, 14-0. Byrd, also the defending national champion at 133 pounds. His last loss came a year ago to Drake Ayala of Iowa, and Byrd has been on an absolute tear ever since. It's a meeting of the minds, if you will, as Lucas Byrd in the building today, as well as Matt Ramos. Ramos and Byrd locked up last year in the NCAA tournament in the midst of Bird's run to gold. We'll see what he has today for Blake Boarman. Boarman, the redshirt senior from Evansville, Indiana, had a tough loss, a 2-0 defeat to Zahn Fugit in Mackey Mania last weekend. Lucas Byrd, 14-0, 5-0 in Big Ten duels. He scored 49 dual points this season, which leads the Fighting Illini. He's the reigning national champion at 133 pounds. He also picked up his 100th victory in Champaign back in November, a victory over Mason Ziegler of Lehigh.
And actually, a fact about that, that holds the fastest fall among the starters at 1 minute and 13 seconds.
A minute and 13 seconds, that is insane. This would be a feather in the cap of Blake Boarman here. I'm sure Blake Boarman would love to get the victory over Lucas Byrd, especially that being the first loss of the season for Byrd, and with his coach, Matt Ramos, sitting Matt's side.
And you can see both of them have different wrestling styles. Boarman likes to stand up and test his opponent a little bit, and Lucas Byrd likes to stay low and snap his opponents low. He's trying to lock in that second underhook, dragging Boarman to the ground.
Both wrestlers just kind of feeling each other out here in period number one. Just shy of a minute gone by here. Nice movement there from Boarman to get out of the way. Byrd tried to shoot in for that blast double, but Boarman, smart to the game, gets out of the way. Boarman, the Chattanooga transfer, one of two Purdue transfers. He was an NCAA qualifier last season for the Mocs. And he's looking for his biggest victory to date here. Under 30 seconds here in period number one. Both wrestlers coming over here by our camera. I always wonder with how close we sit to the mat here, if you get a little run, both wrestlers come on over by the table and take a little topple over. Don't worry, I got you if they do.
Oh, thank you.
You may need to use your wrestling ability. A former wrestler yourself, I may need some help if the guys come over here.
Yeah, I'll just take both of them down at once.
Absolutely. And then you'll follow that up by getting a scholarship or something. One of the coaches watching on Big Ten Plus will be like, hey, let me get her a scholarship. Time will expire in period number one. Very similar to what we saw at 125 pounds. Scores even at 0. So, quick question here now. So, we've seen this in both 125 pounds and 133 pounds. In the first period, both wrestlers kind of just feeling each other out. What are you looking for here as we get underway in period number 2? We're going to have a blood stoppage. We're going to get cleaned up here. But after you've kind of spent that first period, downloading the data and deciding, when do you choose to kind of attack in period number 2 or use what you learned in period number 1 and apply it to period number 2?
Period 1 is typically, in college wrestling matches, is feeling out how aggressive your opponent is, what their style is, if they like to stay low, if they like to throw, or if they're more of a low shot kind of person. These past 2 matches, you can notice their kind of style is getting those underhooks, looking for an opening, or that snap down into a little cow catcher right there. And you can tell right now Byrd likes to immediately stand up, while Boarman likes to do a sit-out reversal. So it's all about learning your opponent. And you can tell Byrd is just a consistent form of aggressiveness where he He's very strong in his base right now, and if he gets broken down, he's up right again.
Yeah, that base is double tough there from Lucas Byrd. As Boarman tries to figure it out, but the savvy veteran and Lucas Byrd finds the escape there and has the early 1-0 lead. How important is it to strike first? How important is it to get that first score, whether it be the escape point or the reversal or a takedown? How important is that for the other wrestler?
That depends. That's depending on what the match is. Honestly, if you get that first point, your opponent automatically has that mental mindset that they're not going to be able to win that match. So that first point means so much important. It's where your confidence and aggressiveness comes from. So
it's that thought process of now you're wrestling from behind, if you will, as opposed to even where they were before the first point was scored.
Yeah. So now Boarman has a 0, so his mentality is I need to get points above him rather than I need to stay in the lead. So Boarman's going to be wrestling a little more aggressive, a little more quicker, trying to get those points before time runs out. You can see him trying to stay low, feeling out where Byrd kind of stands up so he can shoot in on those legs down there.
Another escape point was awarded to Lucas Byrd before the previous stand-up. 30 seconds to go, period number 2. Last 2 matchups for Blake Boarman have been a little bit tighter. He lost a 4-1 sudden victory to Dylan Shaver. And a tough loss to Zahn Fugit, 2-0. I believe a stall was issued to Blake Boarman, so another point for Lucas Byrd, so 3-0. Boarman shoots. Byrd fighting it off under 10 seconds.
Bird's got that wizard in right now, really fighting it off. He's got that Boarman's hand just kind of locked in there where he can't do anything. No points there.
Much to the chagrin of the fans here in West Lafayette, no points awarded. So Lucas Byrd escapes period number 2 with a 3-0 advantage. And now the tough part for Blake Boarman, having to start from bottom positioning. We've seen the strength of Lucas Byrd here early on. Now we'll see if Boarman get his first point of the matchup.
Byrd already in with that tight waist, reaching for that wrist, pulling it in.
Boarman sits out and stands up. Big mat return as Byrd puts him down.
I think another thing is what happens, it makes it a little bit harder for matches is honestly your height difference. So if Bird's just a little bit shorter than Boarman, so it's a little bit harder for him to reach for that hand, as we just saw.
1 point escape for Blake Boarman. It looked as if for a minute they were going to give him the 2-point reversal, but he gets the 1.
Byrd a little more on the defensive side right now.
Byrd pushing Boarman off the edge of the mat. As the fans here in West Lafayette starting to get behind Blake Boarman. They see the possibility here, 3-1, coming up on a minute to go, period number 3.
Byrd is now kind of wrestling a little bit of a defensive style where he's putting a lot of forward pressure on him, blocking his legs with his elbows just a little bit, and really fighting, but just doing enough where the refs see that he is wrestling and not giving him a stalling call.
Well, Boarman with a 3-point takedown would get the 1-point advantage, so clearly you can see why Lucas Byrd is defending that takedown. Byrd defending an undefeated record this season, a #1 ranking, as both wrestlers will stand back up here. 28.2 seconds to go, period number 3. Blake Boarman taking the extra second, trying to plan out his final 30 seconds. That changes things there. 2 points awarded to Byrd. It's 5-1 now.
Boarman tries to shoot in, but Bird's got that hand circling around, trying to get that 3 for Byrd. Boarman comes on top with that leg.
3-point takedown. They give him the 3. It's 5-4, but time will run out for Blake Boarman. 5-4 is the score. Lucas Byrd will escape with the 1-point decision. Smiles all around